Hello, how's it going everybody? My name is Akira the Deer and welcome back to another video where in this one, guys, I'm going to be talking about the do's and don'ts of fursuiters. So, I'm going to be doing one later that's about interacting with fursuiters, but this one's going to be for specifically people who wear fursuits and fursuit a lot. So yeah, I made a whole list here of do's and don'ts. I hope you guys like them, and yeah, I didn't really write much of a script for this, so I'm gonna be winging it most of the way. So yeah, if I don't make any sense, I'm sorry. First one, obviously, is do drink plenty of water. Now, while this does sound like a pretty obvious one, you'd be surprised how a lot of fursuiters, including me, you know, whenever I'm going suiting and stuff, I tend to get so wrapped up in, you know, fursuiting and interacting with people that I completely forget that I need to drink water. And next thing you know, I'm getting dehydrated because I haven't drank enough water. And obviously that is not a good situation, because then you're dehydrated and then it can go downhill really quickly. So you have to be very careful and remember to always take water with you. Do make sure you have a handler. Even if you're an experienced fursuiter, it wouldn't hurt for you to have a handler, because there are a lot of situations when you might need or would want a handler, especially if you're a new fursuiter and you're first getting used to suiting and stuff. You're definitely going to need a handler, because they're going to be your eyes, because you can't see very well in a fursuit, and they're going to help you out when you need it, because you can tell your handler whenever you need something to drink or when you need to take your fursuit head off. And then if you don't talk much in suit maybe, then your handler can tell everyone that you need to go, and they can get you out of there. I mean, if you're at a furry convention and you're around a bunch of other furries, then you might be okay because you're around other fursuiters and stuff. But if you're out in public, like at a store or something, or if you're at a park, that would be a situation where you would really want a handler, because you're around people who don't know much about fursuits. So having a handler is very useful. Do make sure you know how to wash your fursuit correctly, because each suit is different and each fursuit maker might use different stuff in their fursuit. So you always need to contact your fursuit maker and see how they would recommend you wash your suit, because you don't want to spend $1,000 on a costume, not know how to wash it, and then you mess it up, because that would be the worst thing ever. Which is why you need to be very careful and make sure you know how to wash the suit, and you need to know how to do it correctly so you don't mess anything up. Don't ignore your body's signs that you need to take a break. Now, the reason I say this is because a lot of people, when they're fursuiting, tend to push themselves too hard because they don't want to leave. Dang it. They don't want to leave because, you know, they're having such a good time, or they don't want to break the magic or something like that. But if it's becoming apparent to you that you're getting overheated, you need to do something. It's one thing if you're getting hot in fursuit, that's a given. But if you're getting excessively sweaty, if you start getting dizzy, you're feeling nauseous, don't ignore it and just keep suiting, because that's not good and it can really go south. Which is why, if your body's telling you you need to take a break, you need to take a break. Do not ignore your body's signs, because that's not good and it can really go wrong. Don't ever use hot water when washing your suit, because using hot water will mess up most suits, because a lot of suits are made of fox fur, and it has plastic fibers inside the fur. Obviously, you know plastic melts when it gets hot, so if you use really hot water on a suit with that kind of fur, it can really mess up the suit and the fur will look all mangled and you can't do anything to fix it, which is why you need to be very careful about that. So you need to look into that, see what kind of fur your fursuit has before you try to use any type of hot water on your suit. Don't get your suit wet if it's airbrushed, because if your suit is airbrushed by your fursuit maker, that airbrush can wash off or it can mess up if it gets wet. I'm not exactly sure how you'd wash an airbrushed suit. I guess you'd have to contact your fursuit maker about that, because I don't know much about washing suits when it comes to that sort of thing. Do look into the signs of heat exhaustion, because it can not only help you but help others as well. Because if you're having a hard time, if you start feeling really sick and stuff, and then you know the signs of heat exhaustion, then you'll know when you start getting heat exhausted, and that's when you need to hurry up and get out of suit before you pass out or something. Plus, learning the signs of heat exhaustion can be really helpful to others too, because then if something starts happening, you can tell if they're heat exhausted, so then you know how to treat them, and it could really save someone's life. Do learn a fursuit sign language, because there are different signals people will do in fursuit to show that they need water, or that they need to get out of suit, or something like that. And you need to learn those signs, especially if you're a handler, because if you're a handler, you need to know those signs so that who you're like handling or whatever, if they start showing signs to you or they try to tell you something, you need to know what they're saying so that you can help them. Because, you know, sometimes they might need a drink of water or they might need to get out of suit or something like that. So those are just a few do's and don'ts that I came up with. If you have any other better suggestions, or if you agree or disagree with anything I said, make sure to leave a comment. But yeah, that about wraps it up for this video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure to crush that like button. Subscribe, it's free, it really helps out the channel. You can always unsubscribe later. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!